What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. Lots to talk about today, another action-packed video, and we have caught some whales making some moves in the Sword and Shield sealed era. Make sure you watch the full video to not miss these moves. I'm the first one calling it out here on YouTube. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. Let's start off today by talking about Destined Rivals, as we usually do. Destined Rivals is probably the best set of the Scarlet and Violet era, which is why we focus on it so much on this channel. And it's pretty much had a flat week after it fell in price a little bit a couple of weeks ago. We're holding steady now at around about that $300 price point, which I think is quite an agreed sort of fair price for the Destined Rivals booster box at the moment. Part of the reason for that price dip a few weeks ago was just more product hitting the market with LCSs all around the world in UK, EU and US, just more product hitting the market. So really positive to see it holding at around about that $300 price point. Last week we were seeing average prices of around about $306. This week we're seeing sales anywhere from $304 to $310 on TCG Player. So essentially a flat week, and it just holding value at a hair over $300. Last sale on eBay US reflects that as well, with a sale yesterday, new listing as well, so bought out straight away for $310. In the UK we're getting boxes here for $275. £275, which is right up at that all-time high price as well. People told me I was mad for buying in at £180 on release when it was going for over retail on release. They said I was absolutely mad, and I'm just so glad I stuck to my guns and went with my own gut feeling. That's partly what you have to do in this crazy market that we're a part of. If you feel that it's a good deal, sometimes you just need to pull the trigger and just block out all the noise around you from people who have doubt in the hobby, because there's a lot of people who have doubt in the hobby for sure. And if you're willing to hold on to sealed product for a good couple of years, just in case you need to ride out some dips and ebbs and flows in the market, then you'll do fine. You honestly will. Now, let's have a little look at some news. So on Friday of next week, so August the 22nd, we're going to get the release of the black and white booster bundles. Now, I expect that that is going to be quite a good play if you can pick it up for anywhere near retail price. So be looking out in the wild next weekend for the black and white booster bundles. You can see here that the actual loose booster pack price on TCG Player is going for around about $8.63. Now, if we calculate that out for how many you get in the booster bundle, that would be a booster bundle price of $51. Now, I'm not saying you should buy a black and white booster bundle for $51, but if you can get it anywhere near retail price, you can see the value is there in the product. So definitely something to keep your eyes open for the next week. If you're wondering why I'm doing prices in US dollars and in UK pounds, it's because I'm based in the UK and we have a look at the entire global market. We focus on sealed in the US prices and in the UK to give you a whole picture of what's going on in the world. So if you are in any part of the world, hopefully you'll get something out of this video. The goal of the channel is to give you accurate sealed price data every 7 days. We make a video every Saturday to tell you what's going on in the market so that you don't have to track everything, because there is a lot to track and things are changing very quickly in this market. I'll also make extra videos if something starts breaking out crazy in the week as well, if needed. So Prismatic Evolutions then. Prismatic Evolutions, again, there's been so much talk about people saying that it's going to crash to MSRP or retail price because of all of the Costco bundles and Sam's Club bundles that are going on. We've really not seen that in the market. We've seen it hold steady at around that $100 price point, which is what we expected. If we have a look at the sales data, last week it was averaging $101, and we're seeing last sales here. Last sale is $95. There's a sale here for $90, but then again, these are all sales from today. This whole page is from today. We're seeing 3 go for $102. We're seeing another 6 go for $100. So it's all averaging at that $100 price point. If you can pick one up for $95, $90, I think you've done very well. I think it's an instant buy for anything under $100. I'm still happy to buy in even at $100 for these. I personally think that they can continue to print Prismatic Evolutions. If they printed it into the ground for the next year and a half that it's in print for, I still think that at that time, in a year and a half's time, when there'll be no more of them, it will still be well over $100, and it will really start climbing up. We've seen it time and time again with these sets, with your 151, with your Paldean Fates, with your Crown Zenith. When you've got good specialty or holiday sets that don't have the booster boxes, it will climb up in price, and it will demand a premium in a couple of years' time. I can guarantee that. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but that's almost certain. That's like, you can never say anything's for certain because everything could go to zero. We are all invested in shiny cardboard at the end of the day. That is something that you do really need to remember. But I have so much confidence in it. I have so much of my net worth in sealed product because I'm so confident in it. And I've been doing this a long time. I've seen the hype cycles come and go. And it just seems to be repeating itself over and over and over again. That's why on this channel we have over a year, nearly 2 years worth of price predictions going back. You can look at any of the old videos and hold me accountable for it. It's all there. All the predictions are there. Nearly all of them have come true. Or if they haven't come true, they're on the way to coming true. Let's have a look then at last sold in the US. $94 on eBay. You don't even need to mess around with trying to find one at Costco or Sam's Club. Look at this. Sub $100. Obviously, I think you pay sales tax after on eBay. I'm not sure, depending on what state you're in. I'm still trying to learn like the US tax laws and stuff. They're very confusing. Here in the UK, it's just sort of like baked into the price, the tax stuff. So bear in mind that if you're seeing UK prices, that's already got tax included. So that $94.88. I think that's an instant buy at $100. That is a sale from today, and it got bought out straight away. It's because it's still got the new listing tag. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's so many people in the market willing to pounce at anything that's under $100 for a Prismatic ETB, and that's why I think it's really going to struggle to ever go much below that. As soon as it drops down, we just buy. I think it's an instant buy for $100. Look, here's another one from today as well. Actually, that one's from yesterday. Sorry, my eyes are going a bit funny. I don't have my glasses on. August the 15th, so yesterday, there's another one bought out instantly for $100. There you go. Let's have a look then at the UK. Last sold in the UK, we got PC ETBs. The PC ETBs are getting really heavily flipped here in the UK. Most of the sales of PC ETBs, Prismatic ETBs, are the Pokemon Center exclusive version. There's a lot of sales going on there of people buying, selling, flipping them. They're going for just under £200 there. And here we go. Last sale, again, new listing, so instant buyout yesterday for £104, which is basically what it has been for the last couple of months. It's been steady at that £100. There's another one there going on an auction for $114. Which is quite a bit higher than it's been recently. So UK, again, really not that affected by these Costco drops here. Let's have a look then at Journey Together. Journey Together, the price chart has been broken for a little while, but we can have a look at the prices on here. Regularly selling for around about the $250 mark. I personally think that's still a little bit overpriced. It is down technically $10 on last week. It was going for, look at this, Look, 8 sold for $265 last week. So actually down $15. Let's calculate that out. 15 divided by 265. Journey down 5.6%. I did think it was a bit overpriced. I did say that last week when it was at that 260, 265. The kind of like average price of a Sword and Shield set right now for around about those sort of mid sets are around about $220 to $230, more sort of like $230 to 240. It's around about $230 for an average Scarlet and Violet set at the moment. So Journey Together is a little bit ahead of that now, coming down to around about that 250. I think that that's about where it should be, at around about 240, 245. I think it's still a hair too expensive. But again, if you're going to put it away and hold it for a couple of years, I'm confident that it will grow in value. So Journey Together, technically down, what was it, 5.6% over the last 7 days, but we kind of expected to see that happen. Last sale in the US for the enhanced version. Look at this, someone got a nice deal on that, $207. $207 makes that basically the cheapest Scarlet and Violet booster box in the era. I think Paradox Rift is right around that point as well. But yeah, $207. Someone got a really good deal there yesterday. And then, yeah, look, and then on the buy it now, same day, $230. I think $230 to $240, $245 is where it should be at the moment, and then I expect to see it pull ahead of stuff like Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces once it's had a little bit of time to run. Let's have a look then at the UK. At the UK, it's just a hair over the retail price. Retail on this is what, like what's the Scarlet and Violet retail right now? It's like 150 something, 156, something like that. So about 10 quid over. It's not the enhanced version. If you want the enhanced version, it's got the little red symbol on it. Let's see. Yeah, it would have a little red symbol here, which means it comes with an additional promo card in there. They are a lot rarer to get here in the UK. It seems like there's a lot of them in the US, though, so something to bear in mind. But very cheap, basically retail price for Journey Together here in the UK. I hold a little bit of it. I don't hold a lot of it. I think it will do fine long term, but for these kind of prices, I don't think it's a bad pickup, especially if you're in the UK. Surgeon Sparks then. Surgeon Sparks coming down a tiny bit in price technically, but it's kind of just been zigzagging for the last sort of 3 months as it finds its feet. Last week it was at 240 on the average. Now we're seeing a few sales here for 233. Now I personally think that's underpriced. That puts it at the mid to low range of all of the Scarlet and Violet sets at the moment, and I think it's one of the better sets. I think that it's probably... Surgeon Sparks, would we say it's a top 3 set of Scarlet and Violet? It's definitely like 3rd position, or like, it's definitely top 5, put it that way, of the era. So it's at towards the higher end. It is more susceptible to a reprint than the stuff that came previous to it. We tend to think of things in blocks, and we see Surgeon Sparks are later as more likely to get a reprint, or more possible to get a reprint is a better word for that. But for 233, I don't think that's a bad buy-in price, especially when you're seeing like Journey Together at around about 250, that kind of range. I think that Surgeon's on sale this week, and I think that it's a pretty decent pickup, and I think that people are sleeping on it a little bit. Let's have a look then at last solds on eBay. $240. I still think that's underpriced. I feel like Surgeon Sparks should be closer to that 250 range right now. I mean, when you're talking about a longer time horizon though, when you're talking about 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the extra sort of $10 to $20 really isn't going to make that much of a difference. You can see people are importing them for $230 from Australia. Another buy it now from yesterday for $240. I think that that's a little bit underpriced, and I think that that's a good buy at the moment for Surgeon. It is quite possible that we're going to get reprints of Surgeon, but I don't think that that is going to matter too much in 2 years' time when it's out of print. I think that it will be at this price or a lot higher, potentially a lot higher. Just depends how much they print of it. If they don't reprint it at all, it's just going to shoot up to that $300 range. It really will. Last sold in the UK here, £207 on a auction where one person bid, and then look, same seller, same day, 22 bids, £230. So this is what I'm talking about deals being out there. So like lots of people were bidding on this one. Look, same seller, same day, 2 boxes, both auctioned off, 230, 207. The deals are out there. That is a huge swing in price. I mean, what's that, 23 quid swing in price on a 207 box? That's an 11% swing on 2 auctions that are happening at the same time. So deals to be had out there. It's not all about timing the market. In a bull market like this, there's just deals to be had everywhere. And we'll have a little look at that a little bit later on in the episode as well, because you'll see it. You don't have to like snipe all these auctions. There's deals to be had on the buy it nows as well. And a few of these sets later, I'll show that to you. Let's have a look then at 151 Elite Trainer boxes. 151 Elite Trainer boxes have just been on a tear recently. I don't think we're going to see any more reprints of the Elite Trainer box. We potentially might see some more of the bundles, but again, that's pretty unlikely at this stage. Even if they do, I don't think it's going to affect the price that much. $298 last week, and this week we're seeing last sale for $320. So what's that, $23? 23 divided by 298, another 7.7% price rise on the averages on TCG Player for the 151 Elite Trainer box this week. It is just on an absolute tear. It's up 32% over the last 3 months, and I think it's going to start going vertical on the price chart real soon. I think we're going to see a big parabolic price move on 151 over the next 2 years. I think that we're going to see a massive run on it, and it potentially could be one of the best performing Elite Trainer boxes of the era. Let's then have a look at last sold on eBay. The Pokemon Center exclusive version going out for $850. I think that's crazy that it's holding at that price as well. Not only is that a massive price for the PC ETB, it's holding there too. Absolutely nuts. We're going to see $1,000 PC 151 ETB real soon, I think. Even if it's just one odd sale, I just want to see it. I just want to see it hit that $1,000 mark. That would be absolutely nuts. Considering technically it's still in print as well. Technically, Pokemon Center, it's very unlikely, but Pokemon Center could release a load of PC ETBs right now. And if you're buying in now for $850, that is a huge risk. There is so much premium on that product. I mean, yes, it's very unlikely that they will reprint some PC ETBs of it, but just something to be aware of, some food for thought. Let's have a look then at the normal ETB, right on $300. And that's a new listing as well, so it just got bought out instantly. There's another one again from yesterday going for $295 on an auction. Oh my, what's going on here? $1,300. What is this? It's not even a PC ETB. Is it 4 of them? Oh, right, yeah. Okay, it's 4 of them. They wrote that listing really weird. Okay, 4 of them going for $1,380 on an import. I don't know why you would do that. It's better to just buy them at $300 a piece from here, and then you even get them cheaper and get them domestically, i.e. US to US shipped. Very peculiar behaviour going on the US eBay. Last sold in the UK, £280 now. These are really shot up in price. £286 on a buy it now. So a £6 swing on 2 sales, 2 days, well, on the same day, but 2 days ago, between an auction and a buy it now. So very, very similar price going on there. I think we'll see a £300 box potentially in the next couple of weeks, maybe even next week. Who knows? Let's then move on to Twilight Masquerade booster boxes. Twilight Masquerade, again, like with Paldea Evolved, which we'll look at in a minute, had a massive run up in price and peaked at around about the early to mid July. consolidated down a little bit in price, but have just been holding at this strong sort of $270 to $275 price point. Last sales here, look at this, 285, 290. That's right up there at those all-time highs. Again, it's still an imprint box. Very unlikely that it's going to get reprinted at this stage, but it could happen. Even if it does get a fat reprint, I don't think it's going to affect price that much. People will just have another opportunity to buy into it for a little bit cheaper. They'll all get bought up, and then we'll be back knocking on the door for $300. I think it's going to smash through that all-time high $300 price point real soon. Let's have a look then at Paldea Evolved. Very similar story. Had that peak around about early July, consolidated down to around about 350, and then it's holding at this 350. Last sales 350, 360, 380, 360. So a bit of a swing in price there between the last 3 sales yesterday. You're seeing a 10% swing in price. We're getting deals now on some of these sets because we're getting to the point now where the difference between someone dumping and someone buying in to invest is starting to pull apart. And you're seeing massive deals and massive swings between buys and sells, and this is great opportunities to buy in if you're patient and you know your prices. That's why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity, because I'll show you these swings and these variances in price so that you know your prices. So if you see a deal, you can instantly know it's a deal and buy them out straight away. You'll notice that when people get these really good deals on the buy it nows, like when you see these new listing tags and stuff like that, that's because people know their prices. So as soon as it gets listed for a little bit under where market should be, they're just buying it out and getting a quick 10%, 15%, 20% off. That's kind of crazy, you know. Let's have a look at last solds on Paldea then. In the US, 350. There's one here. Look, same day. Went for 400. 400, I'm pretty sure, is all-time high as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an all-time high. So these were both sold yesterday. Look at this. $50 price swing between 2 buy it nows yesterday. That's huge. What's 50? 50 divided by 350. What's that? About 18%? 14% price swing between 2 sales on the same day. Nuts, guys. That's basically your fees if you're selling as a business seller. Crazy. Let's have a look then at the UK. £250. This is on sale, guys. Look at this. Bought out instantly. £250 is nuts. These were going for like 310 a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, oh well, it's crashing. It's not crashing. It's just people are dumping that. As soon as it comes down in price a little bit, people dump. We sold loads at 310 a few weeks ago just to move into some other sets because I wanted to shuffle things around a little bit. But now they're down to 250. It's not like, oh no, the sky's falling, let's sell all of our Paldea Evolved for 250. No, it will just bounce back up to that 310 range real quick. I guarantee it. Let's have a look then at Paldea Fates. Paldea Fates just been on a bit of a tear recently, kind of following in the footsteps of 151. Great set, 2 of the best cards in the era in my opinion, the Dark Charizard and the Bubble Mew. Absolutely love this set. $207 last week on the average price, now going for $214. $7 price rise. That's what, about 3.5%, 3.4%, 3.3%, something like that. Quick maths, work that one out if you want. What's a $7 price rise on $207? If you work that out, see if I was close. I guess 3.4%, just under 3.5%. See how close I was. We're not going to run it though. Temporal Forces booster box. Let's have a look then. Had a little bit of a peak at the end of July at around about 232. Now going for like 235. So right at that all-time high. Please be careful if you're in the US with Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift. We can get them over here in the UK, in the EU for retail and below retail, so please be very careful. Even if we ship them to you and pay fees and import tax and all of that nonsense, we still make $50. There's $50 of play there to pay in fees, and I guarantee you it doesn't cost you $50 in fees. We can get so many for retail price here in the EU. We are swamped with them. So be careful buying in for this price point. It's artificially inflated in the US right now. There is a lot of worldwide stock of Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift. Be warned, be careful on them. Last sold in the US, $230. Last sold in the UK, £125. Way below retail. That's what? Nearly 20 quid below retail? We can get that here on a buy it now. Crazy, guys. Crazy. People are dumping them left, right and centre here in the EU. Yeah, if you convert that into dollars, right, 125 quid is like $170. $175, something like that. There's a $50 arbitrage there, and it's like, yeah, you're going to have to pay fees to ship it over there, but eBay makes international shipping quite easy. Be very careful buying into those price points. There's a lot of stock here in the EU that's just sitting and is getting dumped. Be very careful. Paradox Rift is the same. Paradox Rift is currently the cheapest booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era, $210. Again, we can get them over here for around about $170. That's still a $40 swing, or $40 arbitrage if we ship them to you. Yeah, we'll eat some in fees, but we're not eating $40 in fees, I tell you. We could list these onto your eBay tomorrow, and now that I've said this in the video, some people will, that live here in the UK. I've got quite a lot of UK followers. $170 we could list them for on your eBay right now and probably still make a profit. $180, something like that. So be very careful buying into Paradox or Temporal if you're in the US right now. I'm telling you, the EU is sat on stacks of them and we can't move them. They will be flooding the US market soon. It just takes a little bit of time. Let's have a look at the big boy then. Let's look at the Sword and Shield Giants, the Evolving Skies. We love looking at Evolving Skies. We do love Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is easily my largest position in sealed product, even though I don't hold much of it anymore. I don't hold many booster boxes of it. I sold most of them a good while ago. No regrets. I made a lot of money on them and rolled that money into more modern sealed stuff, which is taken off now, and I'm seeing massive gains in that as well, so don't feel bad for me. I still hold some booster boxes of Evolving Skies though. We had to hold on to a few just so that we don't kick ourselves in 20 years when it becomes a, I don't know, who knows what price it'll be in 20 years. Could be $100,000 box by then, and that may sound crazy, right? 100k Evolving Skies box in 20 years, but I wouldn't even be surprised, because you've got to think about inflation as well. How much is the value of the US dollar going to erode away in the next 20 years? 100,000 US dollars might not be worth that much in 20 years time. Could be $1 million back then, but $1 million might be worth, I don't know, 10k in 20 years time. You just don't know. Not just the Pokemon market is hard to predict, just the general like worldwide economic market is so hard to predict. Who knows what will happen over the next 20 years? Everyone might adopt Bitcoin and then the US dollar isn't even a thing. Oh god, how weird would that be if we start having to make all of these videos in like Bitcoin prices instead of US dollars, because the US dollar just isn't used as like the reserve currency in the US or something. God, how crazy would that be? I think personally, right, going off on a tangent now, I think personally it's all going to move into digital money, but you're just going to have a digital dollar that's like US Fed backed, and you're going to get like a US backed digital currency here in the UK and in the EU as well, and it'll just be the digital pound or the digital dollar. But that is a bit of a sidetrack. I wonder though if they will encourage people to adopt by giving them a better exchange rate. So instead of it being 1-to-1, if you're an early adopter, I wonder if they'll like double your money. So if you put in like $100, you'll get $200 of the digital currency. And to be honest, if it's government backed as well, like as in like an official one, it's not just like some random crypto. I don't know. Maybe I'd do that if they were given like a good rate on it. We'll see. Sealed product though. What will happen to the prices of that if things like that happen in the market? Who knows? Evolving Skies, last week it was averaging around about the $2,200 price point. Sorry, I got massively sidetracked there. Last sale $2,500. We can't really look at like increases in average price. It's better to just look at like the last sales data with stuff like Evolving Skies, because they're selling so infrequently and the price has so many like swings between buy and sell. What's really interesting though, bit of background knowledge for those of you who don't know, I'm a data analyst by trade. If you're in the US, that's called a data scientist. A trend or a breakout in price is officially defined as 7 price points in a row at a certain price point. Then that will show a trend. If even one of those sales out of 7 in a row dips below, then the trend breaks down and it's not a trend. This is how a lot of like the big companies worldwide trade on that kind of knowledge, and that's how they spot changes in their markets and price changes. Now let's have a look at how many sales in a row on TCG Player. We have over $2,400. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in a row. 13 sales in a row over $2,400 means that is an official breakout. It is an official market trend that the price now is over $2,400. I just thought that would be interesting for you guys to see. Let's have a look at last sale in the US, $2,700. And that's on an auction as well from yesterday. That is right up there. We've been calling for the 3K Evolving Skies booster box by Christmas time. Looks like it's on course for that. Might even smash through that this winter time before then. Last sale in the UK, £2,026. We're seeing regular sales here. Look, here's another one going for 2K on the dot. Absolutely crazy. I remember having a conversation with someone not that long ago. It must have been about 6-7 months ago, and we were talking about the possibility that Evolving Skies might hit £1,000 a box. Now we're seeing double that, like just later on in the year. Absolutely nuts. Evolving Skies is the GOAT set of Sword and Shield. It's the GOAT set of the last decade, to be honest. It's safe as houses. Just a fantastic set, and I think it will continue to have record-breaking runs up in price. There's just nothing like how it's performed in the market. It is consistently outperforming everyone's predictions, and it's just a monster. There's no other way to describe Evolving Skies. It is a monster. It is the set of the last decade. Yeah, £2,000 a box. Interestingly, I was buying into these still when they were £300 a box, and people were telling me I was mad when I was buying in at £300 a box. On this channel, we were telling people to buy in at £400 a box, £500 a box. And again, I was getting comments down below saying I'm mad. I shouldn't be recommending that to people. It's 4x'd in that time, in like a year and a half. It's absolutely nuts. Interestingly, do it. If you're really interested, have a look at my first video ever posted on this channel, and I'm talking about Evolving Skies. Have a look at the price point then, and have a look at the recommendations that I'm making on it then. Anyone who listened to me back then is sitting quite sweet right now. I think it's just going to continue to have a crazy run. Like I said, a $3,000 box by Christmas time is more than likely to happen. And I think it's just going to have an insane next year as well. It's going to have an insane next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Just an absolutely insane box. Let's then have a look at Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is having a bit of a flat week on its all-time high. $188 last week. This week, $188 with some sales at 182, 180, 184, 184. One there going for 170. Honestly, Crown Zenith is a really safe place to put your money, in my opinion. It's still quite affordable because it's under $200, and it just continues to climb up in price. It's had a flat week this week, but it's chilling at its all-time high, and it is consistently going up 4%, 3%, 2%, 4%, 3% week on week on week. It's just one of those consistent, steady growth boxes, and yeah, I really like it. I think you're unlikely to ever see like a big volatile run up in price on it, like a big 20%, 40% gain in a week like you do see with some of the booster boxes. They're a lot more volatile. It's more sort of like a safe, steady, slow earner. I like to compare Crown Zenith as my high interest bank account. Absolutely love it as a set. I think it's a great set. It's the last set of the Sword and Shield era. It's a holiday set, so there's no booster boxes. It's very iconic. It displays well as an Elite Trainer box as well. I just think it's a great buy, personally. Let's have a look then at Fusion Strike. So Fusion Strike has had a bit of a run up in price over the last couple of weeks. It's having another little run. We've been calling $1,000 Fusion Strike box coming soon, maybe. $812 last week. This week, $862 with another couple of sales at around about that $880, $882. So let's take the last sale, $862 from $812. $50 price rise on $812. Let's have a look. 50 divided by $812. Up 6% in the last week. But look at what it's been doing the last couple of weeks. It's having a bit of a run. Last sold in the US, $835. Last sold in the UK, 567 quid, right at an all-time high on both markets. Bought out instantly on the UK market as well for 560. Kind of crazy. Lost Origin having a run up in price as well. We called it right down here. We called it in July. We've been saying it for all of May, June, July that Lost Origin is underpriced and it needs to have a run up to go to within $100 of Fusion Strike, and we're starting to see that now. We're starting to see the price pump on both Fusion Strike and Lost Origin, and I think part of that isn't just the fact that I think that they're undervalued as sets, because the top three sets are Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, Fusion Strike. Everyone agrees with that. It's not just the fact that they're great sets and they were undervalued. I feel like people are just getting pushed out and can't afford the price point of Evolving Skies. So now a lot of money is flowing into Lost Origin and Fusion Strike as well, just because it's quite expensive to go into Evolving Skies, and there's a lot less of them available for sale and to purchase of Evolving Skies, so you're more likely to have to pay a premium. Like with Evolving Skies, we were seeing last sale in the US, look, $2,700. That's quite a bit over market price. Like I said, we said that the official trend is at $2,400, so you're paying quite a bit over market, and you're fighting for it in an auction as well. For an Evolving Sky. So for a lower price point and being able to pay closer to market, I think that Fusion and Lost Origin just look a lot more attractive, and that's why we're seeing more of a run up in price in them. I do think that people are buying them out as well, and that's why they're having a bit of a run. So $596 last week, 712 here, with look, one of them going for 800 there day before yesterday. So even if we take last sale, which is 712 from 596, 712 to 596, 712 to 596, 184 to 712, 184 to 712, Guys, it's up 25%. Lost Origin in the last 7 days. And that's not even like the highest sale. That's just the last sale. Look, there was one that sold for way over that. It's up hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the last 7 days. Big run up in price. We called it was undervalued. I still think that Fusion and Lost Origin are undervalued. I think they're both going to a KO box by Christmas. If you've got that kind of money to throw around and it's not like going to affect you that much, i.e. you can put that money away and sit on it for a couple of years, I think Lost Origin and Fusion Strike are going to have really good run-ups over the next couple of years. Last sale in the UK, 579 quid. Quite a bit cheaper than the US market. Let's then have a look at Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance seems to be the only Sword and Shield box that's actually coming down in price. And as it continues to come down in price, it's looking more and more attractive for me to buy. I think Astral Radiance is one of the top 5 sets. So in the better side of the Sword and Shield era. And it's just continuing to fall in price. Partly, if we zoom out, it's because it had this crazy run up and manipulation in price like most of the sets did at around about the May time. And now it's just finding its feet and consolidating down to what the price should be. Which I think is probably around about the $300 mark to $320 mark. But as it continues to fall in price, it's looking more and more attractive to me. Last week it was 360, 370 on the average, and we're seeing them now go for like 366, 360. So coming down in price a few percent each week on Astral Radiance. We'll keep an eye on that because, I mean, it's an out of print set and I don't think it's a bad set either. We're getting more and more tempted to buy in. Last sale in the US, $330. Last sale in the UK, £312. Let's have a quick look at Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars, their chart's broken. It's been broken for a few weeks now, but we can have a look at the last prices. Last week it was going for 460. This week it's technically going for 450, but we were seeing multiple sales last week for around about that 450 range as well. Technically it's down like 2%. However, it's kind of not, because 2% is like the average ebbs and flows of the market. It's basically had a flat week, Brilliant Stars, but chilling at around about that all-time high. Silver Tempest is continuing to climb up in price, really slowly, getting a few percentage price points every week. Last week it was averaging around about that 380 mark. Like I said, like I keep saying in these videos, it's all about psychological price points for these. The two big barriers for these boxes to break through, the Brilliant Stars and the Silver Tempest, is now $400. They'll bounce around that $400 mark, I expect, for another month or two, and then they'll have a breakout and they'll have a fairly easy run up to $450 and then up to around about that $500 range. At around about Christmas time, I expect both of these boxes to be knocking on the door of 500. Maybe not quite there yet, but considerably close. Definitely as well, Silver Tempest more so than Brilliant Stars, because there's talk about a Pokemon Silver remaster for Switch 2. So if that comes out, obviously it's a Lugia as the main chase Pokemon. Lugia is the main chase card in Silver Tempest. Just putting two and two together, I think we might see that Lugia chase card go up in value a little bit if everyone does start playing a Silver remake of Gen 2 games. Just something to bear in mind that could be a potential play coming forward. But it's up a little bit over this last week. Yeah, it's gone from like 380 to 395. Again, knocking on the door 400. Look, 397, 395, 392. Up a few dollars week on week on week. And over the last 3 months, it's up 11%. I think that it's going to have a pretty good run over the next year, Silver Tempest, especially if we see another Gen 2 game coming out. Let's have a look then at Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign is having a little bit of a play this week. Now, I don't talk about Chilling Reign every week, but I keep an eye on it every week. And if I ever see anything moving up in price, I'm the first to let you guys know. Who else on YouTube is calling out and letting you know first that someone's buying out all the Chilling Reign on TCG Player? Ain't no one. Ain't no one there ahead of me calling this play. We see these plays going on in the market. Someone being sneaky, thinking they can buy out all the boxes in front of my nose. Nuh-uh. We're paying attention to everything. And that's why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Look at this. Last week, $420. This week, $500. $80 price rise in 7 days. 80 divided by 420. 19% price rise on Chilling Reign. A fifth of its value in the last 7 days. Someone's buying them all out. Someone's making a big move on Chilling Reign right now. Very interesting. Last sold on eBay US, $500, $507, $525, $520, $525. Someone's buying all of them out. Someone's making a big run on Chilling Reign right now. Last sale in the UK, $418, $422. Right up there at its all-time high. And look at what it's doing on the chart. Look at that. Let's go into the 1 month chart. Just whoop. Just starting to go vertical. Someone's making a run on Chilling Reign right now. Calling it here first. Let's finish off the video and let's talk about something a little bit different. This is quickly becoming my favorite segment of every video, where we just look at things that are being sold in the market, maybe things that are a little bit more unique. And this really caught my eye. So this sold today. It is a Pokemon Vaporeon tin from 2017, and it sold for $200 on a buy it now. And it's just beautiful. I've never seen this tin before, and it just look how nice that is as a display piece of some sealed. Just absolutely beautiful. I love it. So cool. I might have to start collecting some of the old tins. The old tins look so good. $200 is a pretty penny for whoever bought that, because I don't know what retail in the US for tins are, but over here they're like 20 quid, so like $19.99. So I presume they're like what, somewhere between $25 and $30 in the US. I presume they must be like $25. If I take $25 as an example, it's gone up $175 since they've had it, and 175 divided by 20, they've made an 875% gain, and they've got to display this lovely tin in the meantime. And it came out in 2017 as well. So if it was $25, they've done nearly 9x their money in the last 8 years. Crazy. Cool tin. The contents I tried to find out for you just because I thought that it'd be interesting for you guys to see. Looking at people opening these on YouTube usually gives you a good indication of what you can get. However, you have to be super careful with tins because they vary depending on which print run they are. Like if you get the ones right at the beginning of them being printed versus when they end of being printed, they can have different packs in them. So be very careful of tins. It's no guarantee. However, I saw a video of this guy, shout out to him, the surprised Pikachu, him opening one 4 years ago, and he got a Roaring Skies, an Ancient Origins, and a Fates Collide. So all XY packs in there, nice pack selection. And I just like the tin. It just looks beautiful. It's so cool. It's got a bit of scratching on it, which is a bit of a shame. But even still, as a display piece, I just think that's absolutely beautiful. I love the colours on it. I believe as well there were 3 variants when this 2017 Triple Effect tin came out. I believe there was also a Jolteon one and a Flareon one. But I just think that Vaporeon tin looks so nice in the dark blue. Real interesting to see some older sealed product. And I thought you guys might find it interesting too. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Please smash that thumbs up button, that like button. If you enjoyed the video or you got anything out of it, it really does help support me and push my content out there further, and it costs you nothing, so you've got no excuse. If you made it this far, you should be smashing that like button, let's be honest. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and peace.